All right, good morning, everyone. How are you? I hope you're doing great today. Let's get into it. Today in Pathfinders, and actually tomorrow in our Twin Flame Astrology group, I'm going to continue on the conversation about the changing of the guard of moving into the age of Aquarius. I'm going to talk about, especially to the Twin Flame group, I'm going to talk about union consciousness, which is happening for 2025. So if you're not part of my astrology group, or my Pathfinders and you want to jump onto those conversations, there's a link below. We are going to combine both of our astrology groups for November. So you'll only be in one group. You'll all be in one group. All right. We'll iron that out over the coming 2 weeks. Okay. All right. Let's see where we go today. Underneath is veiled. Boy, this card's been coming up a lot, huh? Home, affluence, boundaries. All right. Some of you are really protecting yourself right now, and I totally get it. I just feel like this energy of I've either got to, in order to reclaim my power, I cannot be dealing with people who drain my power. Okay. You've got to reclaim it from some people, or you've got to boundary yourself from others. It is your riches. It is your wealth. This is your jewel. Okay. It's really time to, anybody who is draining that energy, really, the curtain is closing here. Okay. And when I'm talking about next year being really the beginning of this new earth, we are shifting. I've talked about this a lot this year about the outer planets shifting signs, all shifting signs. Those outer planets, Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto, are all generational planets. So we're being shifted as a group. Okay. And we're shifting from earth and water signs into air and fire signs. If you include Saturn, it's 2.5 years in one sign. That's not a lot. Jupiter, same thing, 1 year in one sign. But we're talking about the outer planets now, the ones that take 20 years in a sign. Okay. So that is shifting, and January will be a big month next year, as will March. By the time we get to March, we are going to be fully in our unity consciousness. So that may seem really like a short porch from now, but this next 6 months is going to be off the hook. Okay. So follow along for details. 10 of Wands. Here you are. High Priestess. The King of Swords. I've been seeing this card quite a bit, and I feel like this is the Divine Masculine card right now, which is kind of protecting themselves. They're coming into enlightenment, coming into alignment. If you're looking at this masculine, feminine inside you, there's a lot of enlightenment happening here. When we put down all the old stuff, when we put away all of the things we thought we had to do in this life in order for us to adult in this life, or us to be successful in this life, we're really putting down a lot of things that don't make sense anymore. Okay. That are just network time wasters, as we used to call them in the TV biz. They're just filler. Okay. And people aren't filler. Your priorities aren't filler. But you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of things that happen that just eat time. And eat time, eat energy, and don't really add anything to your life. Don't really, this could be like people at work who come to your desk and then they just gossip. That's one of those things. People who have their own agendas, who really are interested in trying to push you in their direction. Now, I'm going to say a lot of it's like gossipy. It's not, for those of you who really can't stand small talk like me, This is there's an energetic shift that says we're done with this kind of stuff that is draining our energy, and small talk, boy, that is at the top of my list. Okay? Really can't stand it. Cancerian energy there of the Chariot. Death. I'm not going to just let that hang there. Justice. All right. So there is a transformation here from all of these things that you're doing in life. It's like you kind of have to like sit down and see what you can offload. What are you doing that is, it's just propping up an old version of you, or I don't know. It could be different. This could be different for each of you. So some of you are super hyper competitive in terms of like bringing a dish to a dinner. Some of you, and it's like, it just feels not good. Some of you are super hyper competitive in your ladies groups or your men's groups. Some of you are, it's like ginning up energy that is just meaningless. And it has to do with whatever your core wound is. So if you see yourself like spending hours and hours and hours on some kind of super fancy thing to bring to a party this holiday season because you want everybody to see this, or you know somebody like this, right? Who wants everybody to see them as like perfect mother, perfect wife, perfect husband, perfect daughter, perfect whatever it is. The energy of perfection is really draining happiness, draining joy, draining vibration. And I feel like that's one of the things that's going to be going away in this, because it's sort of like, so if you're, okay, so I don't know why I'm getting this example, but like, if you show up to a party and you have this like super duper fancy thing and you're like, oh, it was nothing, I just threw it together. Like people will see directly through that and be like, oh, wow, you spent 6 hours on this yesterday? Really? That seems a little over the top. Okay. The same thing goes like with, well, who cares what the example is? What I'm saying to you is, this is about remembering what's important. And isn't the important part of that like the getting together and the talking and the seeing people you haven't seen in a while and the spending of time? And I hear some of you going, no, it's really important that I honor this relationship with this super fancy recipe and everything. But really, I want you to think about it. I want you to think about why you do that, or why somebody else does it. You know somebody like this that will go to the ends of the earth and everybody, it's just like, oh God, you think people are thinking like, wow, look at how awesome you are. Look, you fast, you whip that up. Wow. That is going to go away. There's not going to be how should I say this? There's not going to be payback. You're not going to get the same buzz from it or the same hit from it, because it's going to be low priority. It's low priority. And it's something that I feel like people are already starting to see or already starting to have reaction to. And this could have been kicked off, during the time of COVID, when we, stopped doing that kind of stuff. And now we can do what we want. If it makes you super happy to make a really fancy super thing, that's great. But don't pass it off as if it took you no time. Okay. Let's just agree on that. Okay. So, boy, I don't know where that came from. So Wheel of Fortune, 5 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, and the 3 of Swords, Page of Cups, Judgment, and the Moon. So there is something here about destiny and fate is shifting us right now. No question about it. Destiny and fate is shifting us. Those of you guys, I talked about this yesterday. I think it was the twin flame reading when I was talking about being on the spiritual path and being sort of the hermit, the one that enlightens other people, or the one that's um stepping into their enlightened self. And it's kind of like not going to be hierarchical. Okay, there's something here about we're all in this together, and we're not going to be able, with what's happening in the world, with the energy that's happening in the world, you're going to see your priorities really fast in stark relief. It's like, okay, there's no more time. There's no more, and I'm just making this up because this is I'm just trying to bring you to a place of, look at how much you're carrying. And I always think about, like, if I had to get out of this house in 2 seconds, what would I take? Charlie, number one priority. Charlie. My purse, my phone, my shoes, a coat. It's getting fall. That's it. That's it. And if Maisie's here, of course, Maisie. And she'd be up there with Charlie. But you know what I'm saying? Like, think of how, use this as a journaling exercise. If you had to jam, right? Because I'm seeing this, like, it's been a while where we're back and forth, where we're not really in this new energy. And all of a sudden it's going to happen. Okay. All of a sudden. And it's like the Three of Swords. It's like there are certain things that we cannot, stand on ceremony. We're going to have to just be like this, boom, I'm choosing this. And I can't make nice about this. Okay. There's going to be something there. And there's also going to be something that, it like pushes us to really put our money where our mouth is, about our priorities in life, about what we love, about who we love, about what we want, what kind of world we want to live in. And we cannot drag around the niceties. You can't spend 6 hours on a dip. Okay? So that's where we're going here. And I just feel like all of a sudden we show up in this new place. It's almost like you've got 10 minutes to get to the high school gym, right? Tornado, whatever it is, like the change is happening. You've got 10 minutes to scoop up your loved ones, your pets, please take your pets, your purse, a little backpack of stuff you might need, and out you go. What is it for you? What can you see in your day to day? Now, let's broaden this out. This isn't, I'm not talking about, we've had a lot of natural disasters recently. We've had the hurricanes, we've had all kinds of stuff. What is it in your life that is showing you what your priority is right now? Because it's going to be something that is, I don't know if it's unexpected, like a tower, because I'm not really seeing tower energy here, but I am seeing change. And because of this Knight of Swords, I am feeling like it's sudden. A sudden shift requires you to step up. Okay, so I'm going to clarify this Three of Swords here. We could be talking about the full moon in Aries there. Four of Pentacles, Page of Swords, Six of Cups, and the Three of Wands. This may not be you. This could be somebody else in your life who is having this sudden shift. Sudden shift happens, and like they've been holding on to something. They've been holding on. A new piece of information drops. And it's all different. Everything is suddenly different, right? It's like when, and I'm not saying that this is a bad thing in any way. This is morally neutral. This is It's just a shift in the wind, a shift in the energy that is going to require priorities. It's going to require you to think fast about them. It's going to require you to make some declarations and let go of other things that aren't priorities, that are nice to haves. Okay? Nice to haves. Why is the moon here? Because judgment, and then the moon comes through, and that is also like a sudden blast from Archangel Gabriel here. Hanged Man. 8 of Swords. Surrendering mindset. Queen of Cups. King of Pentacles. Surrendering. This is about, like, maybe some of you may have a long-standing argument with somebody, and the shift in the world, or the shift in what's happening in the world, same thing. Shift in what's happening in the world suddenly brings things into stark relief. If I was faced with change tomorrow, how would I handle that? I always think about that when I see, like, a lot of times there's disaster movies. And again, I don't want to bring to this, even though I'm seeing this 5 of Pentacles, I just want to say to you that this is just a neutral change. It's a change that is going to shift how you spend your time, how you allocate your money, how you allocate your expression of who you give your feelings to and who you don't. I have a feeling that there's some of us who are going to think some things that we've been doing are childish and unnecessary and hurtful even. And so we're going to have to shed those. Some of you are going to experience people in your family. It's almost like the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes that day. Some of you are going to experience it that way. And it's going to change everything, right? It's going to change everything. Some of you are going to be hearing from people that you haven't heard from in a long time. And messages from people from the past. And maybe somebody that you haven't talked to in a long time. Okay? Talk to me about the destiny here, because the Wheel of Fortune seems to be the operating energy here. Talk to me about that. Ace of Wands. Magic. 7 of Wands. Boundaries. Hermit. 6 of Wands. So, like, let's look at this from a positive side. Let's say, I'm just going to use, whatever we have in our paradigm right now. Let's say you win Powerball. What are you doing during your days and nights that you're no longer going to do? It's a waste of your time. I feel like some of you are going to come into the possession of this information, and the shift in the world over the next 6 months, it's just going to come to the place where you kind of go, why not? What am I waiting for? Why have I held back? Why have I not walked away from this situation? Why have I stayed in a difficult place that was never going to get any better? Why have I let this person run all over me? Why have I not said, I'm sorry, if an apology is warranted? Not to people please, not to just make it come back together, but legit. If you owe somebody an apology, apologize. If you're owed an apology, we'll see. We'll see if that's a priority for that person. And then you'll know exactly where you stand with them. Okay? So one more thing. This sitting on the fence thing and doing things that are just dragging you down is over. It really is. 2 of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, Tower, Empress. This is divine feminine energy. This is about doing the things that nurture us, doing the things that nurture the relationships that are meaningful to us. Volume of friends is not, I'm not impressed by that. really. It's the quality of the friendship. And I think as you get older, you kind of learn that, right? You got to learn that. I mean, I'm definitely so blessed with some wonderful friends, and it's very obvious to me when that gets sidetracked. And so, I can kind of see it when it happens, but it doesn't happen very often. And it's usually from an outside source. So, this is just asking you to look at your life, because there's going to be something that's showing up that is going to force us to put our money where our mouth is. So let's see where we go from here. I'm going to look at what you don't see coming. I think that's the biggest kind of elephant in this room, and we'll get some guidance from spirit. Okay? Link is below if you want to continue on. I'll see you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.